What's up, chat? Happy Thursday, man. Thursday. What a great day. Today is the day that the Lord hath made. And on the 99th day, God said, let there be baseball. Gosh darn it. What's up, everybody? How we doing? What's up, Josh? Josh in the house. Josh, I mean, the people may not know this, but you get down with the baseballs. So, bomb detector.
Last season was real successful following your process, and yeah, it was good. So I'm gonna keep rolling with it.
Yeah, I think it'll be it's gonna be interesting to transform into PrizePicks. I played some PrizePicks last year for baseball. A lot of strikeout props, and then the fantasy scores. Obviously, they have hits plus swap, blah blah blah. There's so much variance that I just stuck with like fantasy points and strikeout props, stuff like that. But yeah, it'll also be a whole lot easier to produce content for that because I don't have to wait till later in the day, which is what we did today because there's only 2 games today. But there's some fun ones, some marquee basketball games. Last night got a little out of control, really fast.
Can we tilt on last night a little bit?
Yeah, we got all day. We got a full-on hour to fill here. So I mean, what's tugging at your heartstrings the most from last night? There were some very lopsided games.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, our list of targets was pretty on point, but we had some key misses that we were pretty heavy on. So Robert Williams, first half prop. This is why I hate first half props, by the way. Mm-hmm. He had 14 fantasy points going into the second quarter. So we're all like, oh, this is easy, right? And, well, he picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter, which we were okay with. But then second quarter's his run, his stint, he gets an early foul, so it puts him at 3 fouls. He doesn't touch the court again in the second quarter and doesn't get his normal run. I mean, he just needed 3 or 4 more fantasy points, and he would have cleared it. Mm-hmm. That really hurt. And then SGA's first half prop, Aaron Wiggins decided to have himself a game and just take over. And yeah, but I mean, all the other props that we were on, and well, I guess except the one that we got on late was Brandon Williams' fantasy points, just due to the differential in the projections.
Yeah,
and we thought he was going to get his full run like he did last time, especially in the garbage time. He ended up not finishing garbage time, and he left halfway through the fourth quarter. So that was tilting. But yeah, I mean, all the other ones that we were keen on came through. So it was still a decent night. It was just could have been a lot better if those other key ones came through.
What an incredibly bad collection of I don't know, the Blazers, right? I joked about it on the stream yesterday. It's just like, man, this is not a real basketball team. And that at one point it was like 100 to 55. Like it was very, very lopsided. Yo, what you drinking on? Was that a sugar-free Monster? What is that?
That's a Bang.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say sour. Oh, all right. I got the black cherry vanilla out for today. It's you don't give me baseball and I not bring out the Bang, man. What's up, chat? Shout out to Josh Plays DFS Conscious. Chris Smith said he won 1,500 yesterday. Mia Moore in chat. She was actually standing next to me when I read it. So the I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Twitter drama in baseball today, but Jeff Passan was hacked by like some NFT project earlier today. And it's just like, of all days to be hacked. So he was like the first person to report that MLB was back. And I was like, wait, is this real or not? Because, and then once I saw a second source report it, then I was able to celebrate. But I'm so relieved. It's a weird feeling for me because they outed the 4 teams, the 4 teams that voted against the proposal, and the Yankees were one of the 4 teams. But I'm just gonna say I don't care about what the owners voted for as long as I get the game back itself, man. Right. What's up, Scott Duran in the chat? Says was really starting to sweat. Would be without baseball for a while. Some days we'd have so much hope, then they yank it from us, and then like randomly international draft became an issue. Just like, what? When was that ever a thing? And then today it was like the owners try to throw in late. Nuggets like drop a couple lawsuits from a couple years back. I don't know. I was just like, man, this is weird, but we do get baseball back. April 7th sounds like the season opener, which the Yankees are scheduled to host the Red Sox, so that's a great way to start the season. And then, of course, I'm pretty sure tonight the free agency opens, so we might get some crazy free agent news and signings. Like, we got a lot of Freddie Freeman, Carlos Correa. There was a lot of steam on like Matt Olson trade talk, so it should be a very fun hot stove. It'll feel probably a lot like NBA opening day for their free agency. So that should be a lot of fun to stay up in sweat, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. And they could have spring training report the spring training like as soon as tomorrow. So this has to happen fast. I mean, think about it. April 7th. That's less than a month. You got to start playing high grade baseball.
Yeah. Actually, it's perfect timing. So I'm looking at the NBA schedule, and the NBA regular season ends right around then. It's April 10th is the last game for most teams, so that's perfect timing.
Yeah. Super Logical in the chat. Logan in the chat. He made it happen. Kiefer, what up, Kiefer? Shout out to you guys. Steve in the chat. Leibowitz. Jim says, what up, Gunner? Think playing Embiid and Jokic in one lineup could be a good takedown. Yeah, if you can fill in the blanks tonight, I'm sure it's going to be easier said than done. Danger, the safety doc says, is playing Embiid and Joker going to be too highly owned? So, Awesemo has free ownership projections today, and they have both Embiid and Jokic as the two highest owned players today, and 54 and 49% on DK. So I imagine there's going to be some overlap there, but you figure it's going to be a lot of one or the other. And right now, Jokic is on an absolute tear. And it's kind of fun for MVP race enthusiasts that have just been enjoying the ride. Having the two primetime games go at it where one could set the stage. But Jokic has been on a different tear. I mean, we talked about some of the stuff we tilted yesterday. Jokic led the slate in fantasy points because the sky is blue. 38 real points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 stocks. LeBron James was second on the slate in fantasy points. They went to overtime and then lost to the Houston Rockets. But I finally got my Russell Westbrook game on FanDuel, so that was great. Giannis third. So that was literally the 3 in my top projection. Remember yesterday we talked about point, standard deviation. So that came out great for me. And then Jonas Valanciunas, I think, was like the sneaky nugget of the day. 62 fantasy points, jammed in all of the McCollum, but Jonas was able to drop 30 real points. DeJounte doing DeJounte things. Not a lot of surprises at the top. Devin Booker, 55 fantasy points. Şengün without Christian Wood and Jae'Sean Tate really thrived there. 40 minutes of 50 fantasy point basketball. I guess Reggie Jackson would be the most annoying one, right? I feel like we've been on Reggie Jackson for the last couple games, and he makes us sweat. And then like yesterday, there was no sweat involved. 31 real points.
He wasn't missing. I watched that game. He was just doing fadeaways. Like he was on one. You could just tell.
Yeah. And then Aaron Wiggins. Aaron Wiggins for like the past 2 weeks has looked so good in projections. And he's always dropping like 12, 13 fantasy points. So yesterday I was like, nah, I'm not doing this. And then sure enough, Wiggins drops 46. And what can you do? But hey, 12-game slate, man. I was able to profit despite 80% Brandon Williams. So I was excited about that. But if I didn't take the Brandon Williams train, might have had a much more fruitful night, man. But hey, money is money. Super Logical says Rob Williams hurt, would have got the 10x if he hit. Oh man, Kiefer said can't wait to hear Ben get booed. I saw we saw those clips. What was that about? Is Turkey? I know I got cats in Philly in chat, right? Is turkey the new thing, man? We calling people turkeys now? You a turkey. Dang Lazy Mofo. What up, Dang Lazy Mofo? KPJ was dishing it. Jalen Green looked really good. There's a lot of steam on Jalen Green. Let's say looking a lot better the second half than the first half. Of course, yesterday he had a lot going his way without Christian Wood and the Lakers defense. But, it does look like he's emerging and evolving greatly for the Rockets. So maybe in a couple years they might be able to have some stuff. Bagley, oh yeah, Marvin Bagley did get to some decent levels of ownership on DraftKings last night. What are you gonna do, right? Made sense. Gets the start, 3 fouls early, and you can't do it. The 76ers fans already hating on Ben. I do feel bad too, but I know Ben's not going to play tonight, but I just hope like he goes through shoot around and drinks like 10 threes in a row. just for fun. I don't know, start pulling up from half court and just can't miss. But I don't know. That should be a lot of fun. Definitely some marquee basketball to get behind. Chad, another thing we got a endorsement from a card shop, right? It was also a Viper. They're sending a pack of basketball cards, like a $80 pack of cards, and he wants me to open them. But I don't know if I should do it on a stream, or we should do it on a video, or how we should make this work. I kind of want Danny to open them. We'll get like 3 cameras set up. So look out for that. And if you guys have ideas, if that's something that might interest you, let me know. Because I definitely think that would be a lot of fun. And then, I don't know, just a little different piece of content there. And hopefully we get like a crazy pull in that. But shout out to them for bringing that opportunity to us. What up, Sean V? MLB is back. Yeah. Ben Simmons no-look 3 while staring at the crowd. Imagine he played tonight just for the heck of it. Not going to happen, but that would be hilarious. Has Underdog given us anything? Underdog NBA key news to watch as of 3 p.m. Eastern. Will Barton questionable. Aaron Gordon probable. Jeff Green questionable. Nothing else big. It's only a 2-game slate, so it should be pretty easy to navigate these streets. But it becomes even easier. Yeah. You had some?
I would say the only problem is like that Will Barton Jeff Green news is more important than you think for props, and the problem is that there's a 2.5 hour gap between the 2 games. So
yes, and it makes Monte Morris a little bit better, right? We were on that yesterday.
Yeah, for sure, and even Jokic. I guess we won't get that news until probably an hour before, 30 minutes. Is that when we got it last night?
Yeah, official, like definitive news. Yeah.
All right.
Which will
have to navigate through that.
It'll make the late swap crowd for DFS have some fun. I know I will. Yeah. Can't wait for that. Hey guys, this stream powered by RunDFS.com. If you guys want to get into the spreadsheets that I'll be referencing throughout the next 30 minutes, this is gonna be a short one. Be sure to go to RunDFS.com, get yourself a VIP membership, and then unlock the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. It was happy days up in here when we got the official MLB is back. Every day before lock, we're in that voice chat. We'll be in it today, but you got to imagine today's going to be a lot more laid back. Tomorrow, however, a 10-game slate, so we're back to wilding out. But there is going to be a lot of Gundacker on YouTube tomorrow when it comes to tomorrow's slate. Look out for, I'm going to join Coach on his podcast tonight, so that should be up by the time you guys get your coffee in the morning to get a first look at the 10-game slate. Then we will have, I guess we're going to do kind of another mega stream here where we're going to combine both streams. That way we don't sacrifice research time, and that'll be 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, right, Josh? That works with you?
Yep.
Tomorrow here. All right, so 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow here. Then I'm going to jump in the voice chat as much as I can, and then we're going to be on Osmo's live before lock that hour before and then 30 minutes after tomorrow. So you're going to get your gun dagger fixed tomorrow. You might get sick of me, and then Saturday we'll run it back on the afternoon show. But yes, it all starts today in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, and you guys can get up in there, go to RunDFS.com, get yourself a subscription. So just 2 games on the docket tonight, very spaced out, both television games. We will be looking at each game from a DFS point of view, and then of course referencing what PrizePicks is offering. While there is some cues there for Denver, right, the Gordon, Barton, Jeff Green, Bones Highland, guys like that, for the most part, not major stuff that we're sweating, like no marquee names that we don't don't know yay or nay on. So first game on the docket, the Brooklyn Nets up against the Philadelphia 76ers. Project starting five for the Nets: Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Bruce Brown, Kevin Durant, and Andre the Giant Drummond taking on Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. We got a 235 total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Philadelphia 76ers. It is the trade game, right? These are the two franchises involved for the James Harden, Ben Simmons trade that also swapped Andre Drummond, Seth Curry. So we could spin all the narrative we want. And it's also another feather in the cap potentially for Joel Embiid in his MVP campaign. And then it's a 235 total, so plenty of implied scoring. Nets coming off that big dub over Charlotte. Quote-unquote full strength here. Obviously, there's Sans, Ben Simmons. And they're also without LaMarcus Aldridge, which is not insignificant because we might be able to plant a few extra minutes, just a few, on Andre Drummond. But it also might give us some Nick Claxton in big field tournaments for if we're just trying to punt 3,200. Although center only seems to be spoken for when it comes to wanting some ceiling today. So, Josh, I guess I would say, where are we reading this game? I think it's fun to paint the narratives of all team members, going at it, and there's a lot of steam on Joel Embiid today. I mentioned, due to those free ownership projections from Osmo, they had Jokic and Embiid as the highest owned. Well, James Harden is not the highest owned. He fell to right inside the top five, and I think he has every bit of a narrative going for him if you wanted to paint that picture. Remember, Kevin Durant was on that draft show. LeBron James laughing at him, Charles Barkley, Shaq. I do like James Harden quite a bit here to kind of stick it to the Nets and narrative be darned, put that aside. He's been playing really, really good basketball, and his assist rate is through the roof. He's really cheap on DFS, and I thought that he would be points per dollar, perhaps one of my most sought after studs to go after tonight. And it's not super contrarian because it's 2 games late. He's going to have 40+% ownership no matter what. But from a real life standpoint, I think he's in a massive spot to put up a lot of real points and put up a lot of assists as well. And you imagine they probably sacrifice the Matisse Thybulle into the Kevin Durant volcano. Not that I'm fearful of Kevin Durant being slowed down or anything like that, but a little extra, another speed bump to get KD over. I think I think if you take out all the elements here, I think James Harden assist prop would be something that I would start looking for. If we pull out the advanced on-off court tool and I pull up Philly, it's I get so tongue twisted when I think of Harden right now. I would pull up Philly. I think he was pushing like a 50% assist rate, something crazy like that. So if they started us at 10.5 or less, which I think was the line, right? He got 50% assist rate. How dumb is that? That stands out to me from a PrizePicks perspective, but from DFS, I'm also expecting 50+ fantasy points. Might get 20+ real points, 12, 13, 14 assists, and some rebounds to boot. I like James Harden a lot today, and for DFS, I think I definitely will anchor him in that guard spot. Did you have a PrizePicks lean on Harden props, or really just anything in general for this game?
No, I'm totally with you. Like, Harden stood out to me the most for his props. I like all of them, but assist probably is the key one I'm gonna go with. Anytime if it's less than 11, I'm with it. It's kind of like when Chris Paul, early on in the season, halfway through the season, when his props didn't reach 11 yet, his assist prop, we just kept clicking on it. Mm-hmm. And finally, if it reached 11 and a half, and it stayed there and probably won't move. And eventually Harden will get there, I feel like, in the next week or so. But yeah, so while it's under 11, I just feel even more comfortable with it. But you can get on his point prop too. This is, it's a great spot for him to go off. The only thing is, like, you just got to worry about Embiid just going nuclear like he did against the Bulls. And it makes sense, right? Embiid had a great matchup against the Bulls, and he has a pretty favorable matchup here, right, against Drummond. So, are you gonna say something?
No, I was just adjusting my camera. I always
Oh, okay.
move my monitor when I play like Fortnite, and I'm a bad producer, and I never check it till I'm live, and I notice I'm looking like Nick Merckx giving DFS advice. All right.
Yeah, I mean, so he if we're worried about Embiid having a big game, that's even more reason to go to Harden for his assist prop. But yeah, like I said, I could get on his point prop too. His free throw prop is always in play. He's going to draw the fouls, and it's at home. And I think Brooklyn, they're in the near the bottom 10 in free throws allowed, so they do cause a lot of produce a lot of shooting fouls. So yeah, those are probably the three I would look at and rank order with assists at the top for Harden.
From a DFS standpoint, in order of fantasy points projected, I got Harden second, a pretty decent second to Joel Embiid here. Obviously in the Sixers hierarchy, we put Embiid 1, Harden 2. And then I'm looking at Maxey and Tobias Harris. Now, we kind of got stung by Tyrese Maxey in that most recent outing. I was on over, I think I was on, it was a 17.5, and he hit 17. And it was just like, oh,
he did.
The pain.
And there's a reason why that happened. To watch that game. He started off cold, but then Thibault started scoring out of the blue, which is never the case. Yeah. And then when Yang got his run, he just went nuclear from 3 and wasn't missing. So these guys that normally don't put up that many points started making their baskets and shooting more than they normally do. And so Maxey, basically the first 3 quarters did not take his normal shots. And then the fourth quarter is when he started producing and taking his normal shots and getting his points there. So
yeah, I'd say for volume and body of work, he was par for the course. It's not like he had extra. He maybe had one less shot than the last 2 games. But the shot volume is still there. Just I'm willing to bet that this game probably stays a little bit closer. So I'm gonna have a goldfish memory at least on PrizePicks, and probably go back to the well with some Maxey props. They have his point prop at nothing, right? They don't have a point prop, huh?
No, they did.
They did?
They did.
Do you remember what it was? Oh, yeah, 17.5 still. Okay, I'm blind.
Yeah.
So 17.5, I'm going to go back to the well here.
Sure.
Miami was the game that Harden didn't play, right? So for me, that just kind of doesn't exist. If we're so high on Harden assists, it's got to go somewhere. And I think Maxey has benefited, much like Embiid, on getting those high-quality open looks, and just, defense is selling out for Harden and Embiid. I'm going to run back to that 17.5. I think that the median outcome for this game is he's probably going to get 20-plus real points, and it doesn't hurt that Danny Green is out. So yeah, give me Maxey real points from DFS perspective. I don't think I get to a lot of Maxey at 7.5, 7.4. Normally want the north side of 40 fantasy points. Might get to like a smidge, but not a ton. And then Tobias Harris is getting to a really cheap price on both sides at 64, 63. He's been kind of the fourth guy on the totem pole with Maxey, Harden, and Embiid. Bing bong.
Chris Smith super chatted $4.99. This is showing my appreciation on what you guys do. Keep up the work. Can you check on Thibault PTS?
Yeah, Thibault points, the Texas tweets to Thibault PTS. Sounds like a disease. 37 plus minutes for Toby in his last 3 games. His shot volume certainly has plummeted the most, and his just overall usage is just not what it could be or once has been. The projection models are still going to like him. Mine does for 30 plus, but I'm certainly not going to make him a priority here. Chris, appreciate that $5 dono. The question is, Thibault real points is what you were asking about. If that's the case, normally I don't ever like Thibault for real points, especially when you could profile him against a team that uses like a player like Kevin Durant in terms of size and archetype, where Thibault's really going to be used a lot for defense today, and I would assume that's his job today, is to shadow, quote unquote, Kevin Durant. 5 shot attempts, 2 shot attempts. If the question is real points, I probably would never. I probably wouldn't even bet the line, but I wouldn't want to sweat the over. 5.5 is very low. It's very tempting, but it probably wouldn't make my card.
And he's got there's potential there for foul trouble. He's been getting in foul trouble recently, and KD, he'll draw the fouls, so gotta worry about that as well.
Yeah. Oh, it moved to 18.5. That was quick. I just opened that page like 20 minutes ago. Oh man.
I watched some interesting analysis on him. He the way he plays defense, he likes to lets the guy with the ball go in front of him, and he likes to come play from behind all the time. So he tries to block and steal from behind.
Valuable.
That
is
kind of unorthodox, but it is interesting.
It works. That's his thing.
It does work. Yeah.
I don't hate it. All right, on the net side, KD. So as much as I respect Dible's defense, it's Kevin Durant. It's Kevin Durant. He's unguardable. So I don't have a lot of pushback on him. I definitely think if we wanted to say who's got the better spot matchup wise, Kyrie versus KD. Kyrie probably has a better matchup wise. He's coming off that massive game against Charlotte. So I guess if I had 2 points per dollar I might look at Kyrie to have another strong game. But both guys are in play for me. For the prize pick side of things, did you have any Nets lines that you like? And then, while you let that question simmer, I do want to pull up this rotations map from that last game. LaMarcus Aldridge being out is something that I had been monitoring for Andre Drummond minutes, and it didn't really look like Drummond benefited a lot in terms of projected minutes. However, with Joel Embiid's size being what it is, there is for me there is a chance that maybe they do require 25 plus minutes of Drummond if he can stay out of foul trouble, and maybe that's something that we dream upon. I think he's going to get lost in the sauce from a DFS perspective, and I definitely think we can wrestle with foul trouble, stuff like that. Nick Claxton's out there as well. I saw Blake Griffin liked or left a comment on Instagram, basically asking somebody else what's it like to play to summarize, so he's not happy about getting minutes. I don't think that's going to help him. But without LaMarcus Aldridge in the mix, I could see a case for Drummond to maybe play more than the 20 minutes that he had been. I don't think it's a great matchup for him or anything like that. But we know his DFS ceiling is definitely high, and Embiid has had some strong games put up against him even this season. So he might be a fun tournament play. But looking back from a player prop shopping standpoint, we got Seth Curry, a little revenge spin on him. We got Kyrie, who, as I mentioned, probably we want to look at the guard matchup to be a little bit stronger than the wing and front court. Did you have any Nets and numbers that were sticking out to you on Prize Picks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the Drummond. That's one thing that stuck out to me because I agree with that game script flow where Drummond maybe will play more than his 22 minutes and maybe get push 25, 26. So I'm on it. Anytime with Drummond, I like his rebound props. So he's at 9.5. I like it's under 10 still. And with Embiid, he will give up rebounds a lot of rebounds at times to centers because he will play so far outside the paint at times where he's trying to facilitate the offense or shoot threes. So I could get on that, the 9.5 rebound. And then, so KD, you have him projected for 53 fantasy point. And they have him at 47. He is turning the ball over recently a lot, and I think that's just due to him passing more and facilitating more. The more you try to assist, the higher chance turnovers. So maybe it would just get on his points. Or if he keeps up this passing, he could get on his 5 assists. It's just risky because it's KD, if he goes, off on offense and is not missing, he's not going to look to pass. So rest of the season going forward, it's going to be hard picking KD and Kyrie, which one is going to get hot, right? In these type of matchups that should stay close and should be a good game. What is your gut feel initially between the two?
Man, I'm thinking Kyrie has the path of least resistance,
Harden.
but I also think that they have probably very similar numbers in terms of usage, assist rate, all that stuff. So it is going to be closer to a coin flip in terms of success rate. And there's going to be times where I think we could just throw a net over both of them and hope for it, that combination of 100-plus fantasy points. And just on a 2-game slate from a DFS game theory standpoint, strategy standpoint, raw points are way more important today than really any other metric. I know ceiling obviously still is going to thrive, but we're going to be accepting a much more wide range of outcomes from our players today because there's such a limited pool to choose from. And I probably have a lot of overlap between Kyrie and KD, and it does positively correlate. When on the court together since February 1st, Kyrie and KD have both held over a 20% assist rate and over a 25% usage rate. Now, the minutes, sample size, the possessions, not there, and we really don't have a grand sample size this season of these two because, there's the caveat of Harden and just the different the active players, Seth Curry, stuff like that. But I imagine that generally speaking, it's going to be pretty close, and this is going to be like metrically like a Levine DeRozan situation where we expect them both to sustain well over 25% usage rate with the assist rate being high. So I'm going to have exposure to both, and I'm going to have a really big chunk of overlap. I got these two leading the team in minutes. So if we expect this game to be a, down to the wire potential shootout game, I think 25 plus real points Kyrie, 30 plus real points Kevin Durant, all that is certainly live. But like I say, if you want to path of least resistance it, where KD might stumble, in their front court with Embiid once or twice, and then Thibault on KD, something like that, maybe Kyrie is the guy that we feel a little bit better about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally with you on that. I mean, I probably for props sake, I will just have a card of each situation, with the KD points on one and Kyrie points on the other. And then, okay, what about these secondary guys? So, what about Dragic? If he plays 26 to 20 minutes like you have him projected, like he did last game, they have him at a PRA of 11.5. You have him projected for, I believe, 18 PRA. 17.8, so close to 18 PRA. What is your thoughts on him?
I mean, projections are the projections, right? When we get gaps like that, looking at
that's a huge gap for PRA. I never see. I mean, usually with your PRA projections, they're pretty close to the PRA on the prize pick. So.
Yeah. I mean, Dragic's been an active part in the last couple games. We even saw him draw a start backing up or on the Kyrie off night. 28, 22, 28 minutes. Yeah, I think we pay more credence to this at Boston, at Charlotte, since those are the games where Kyrie did play or Kyrie was active to play. I think 20 minutes alone would probably make me interested because he's so active in his minutes on the court. 26 might be aggressive, but I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. I might tweak that down just a little bit. But
I mean, he got 28 the most recent game. And nothing really crazy happened, like foul trouble or game stayed close to the end too. So
yeah, I would say that the only thing I would wonder about is if you went a little bit smaller against the Hornets at times, which is possible. But I don't think they really have any other. They don't really have many options without LaMarcus Aldridge, right? And if Blake Griffin's going to continue to not be part of the rotation, James Johnson is kind of that front court rotational piece that they'll throw in the mix, and then him and KD could play in that front court, and then Nick Claxton when he's out of foul trouble. What they close with? They close with Bruce Brown, Seth Curry, Kyrie to an extent, Kevin Durant, Goran Dragic. And that's also interesting. They had Dragic on the court with KD and Kyrie and Seth Curry. I don't know if we get a lot of that lineup today, but that is at least interesting to know that that's in their back pocket. 20 minutes to 26 minutes. That is a significant gap, but I still think per minute, I think he could produce a PRA per minute because he's that active. So even at 20 PRA, that's the over, right? 7, 11, and yeah, jeez. Even at 20, I'd probably gamble with that.
Okay.
So
all right,
yeah.
I'll jot that down.
All right, yeah. Not a core, but yeah, we'll get exposed to that.
Yeah. And then what are we gonna do with Bruce Brown?
Stop it. Yeah, no, So the projections on Bruce Brown, modest, lukewarm.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to do anything with Bruce Brown. Begrudgingly get some exposure on DraftKings. He's got an $1,800 discount on DK2 FanDuel. So that makes him a little bit more valuable from a DFS standpoint there in that split. But man, I hate playing Bruce Brown. 28, 30, 33 minutes last couple games, well over 30 fantasy points in 3 straight games. Boston's definitely the impressive one because of how strong and stout their defense is. Charlotte. I don't know. What did you think? I think the defensive peripherals have been pretty stout. Probably without.
I mean, he's been sitting at this 9.5 point prop, and it's just he keeps crushing it.
Yeah, he is definitely consistently.
And his PRA. I mean, he's been active on the glass, and
he's averaging almost 1.3 fantasy points per minute on FanDuel and 1.2 on DK with Kyrie and Durant on the court.
I guess he's just benefiting as that third man that's going to be open a lot, right?
God, I hate that. I'm going to elongate on that just a little bit, go to like January 1 to see if there's any more sample size, and make sure that Harden doesn't slip in here. Bruce Brown's still over a fantasy point per minute in that split.
He's at, what do you have him projected for? They have him at 26 fantasy point.
I have him at 24.5 on PrizePicks.
Maybe that's due to the minute projection. Maybe that was bumped to 30.
Yeah, I'm saying I might even be low on his minute projection. Definitely could see a little bit more. He ended up staggered in that fourth quarter. Was this a result of foul trouble? No, it wasn't.
No,
I guess Nash was just being Nash. Bruce Brown played a couple minutes earlier in the fourth, and then he closed out over Drummond. And we talked about them perhaps needing size a little bit more today, where you can get away with closing small against the Charlotte Hornets, and not that Drummond's no one's stopping Embiid. Drummond's soft on defense, no matter you know what I mean. But still, size wise, you probably want some type of beef out there. So I don't know that they get away with that as well. LaMelo, PJ Washington. It looks like PJ Washington was the closing center for Charlotte there, so it's full on small ball. So
they could still close with KD at the 5 too, though. Getting to lead.
I wouldn't do that, but yeah, they could. They could. I don't know. I guess his minute projection, him and Goran Dragic, they might actually correlate in terms of volatility in the minute projection. Because, like I said, Dragic was able to close out alongside KD, Kyrie as well, and Seth Curry. And, they might have to sacrifice one of those guards for Bruce Brown minutes, and if they're going to, close with a big like Drummond or Claxton to compete with Embiid on the closing lineup.
So you're saying you wouldn't, for a DFS lineup or a PrizePick card, you wouldn't correlate or pair Bruce Brown and Drummond or Drummond and Dragic?
So a lot of so it looks like almost all of Dragic's minutes, not all, but a lot of his minutes did come opposite Drummond.
Okay.
Not all, some many, and then Bruce Brown is all. I don't know, man. This Steve Nash rotation is it looks like a Tetris game.
It does. I've been looking at it and staring at it. Patty Mills' minute rotation is just weird as could be.
Yeah, and I think that as Dragic starts to grow Dragic can be elite facilitator, probably a little bit more than Patty Mills. Patty Mills better suited as just a spot up 3-point shooter. I think Dragic will have more importance here to spacing and spread out this court. Man, this is quite the puzzle piece to put this game together. So for prize picks, we'd be leaning on. God, man. So I think Kyrie's real points was sitting at what, 26?
24 and a half.
24 and a half. I'd probably take Kyrie's over there.
Yeah, it's a 4-point discount from KD's 28 and a half.
Mm-hmm. And I think KD's live to drop 30 as well. Those two could 30, 25 dueling. I'm hesitant on Drummond, but I do think that at least the optical necessity of his size versus Drummond is probably the most favorable outcome. But I do think Drummond will roast this man alive, and keeping him out of foul trouble is important. What about some of these tertiary guys? Seth Curry back in Philly, he's at 11.5 points. I was kind of hoping for maybe like a 3-point prop, but I do kind of like the thought of some of these numbers being a little bit lower if we got this game going to 230. Shot volume for him, 10 shots maybe. And if he can, maybe land half of them or 2 or 3 threes to get him 60 to 80% of the way. I clicked the wrong Curry, by the way. Seth Curry. Did you have any thoughts on some of these supplementary guys? 10, 6, 10, 16 shot attempts the last couple games, and as you might expect, half of them to over half of them from behind the arc. I guess I would maybe be looking for a 3-point prop. And I can't see it being lower than 2.5. And then at that point, what are we doing? Anything else other than the main guys?
Yeah, I mean, well, we already talked about tertiary-wise. We talked about Bruce Brown. His PRA is interesting. Dragić's PRA. Yeah, Seth Curry. It's tough because, I mean, all his points, majority of his points are going to come from the three ball. And if he's only going to take, let's say he peaks at 10 threes, you're going to want him to make, 4 of them at least to clear that.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're basically with the 11.5 points, you're betting on you're betting on a 3.5 3-point prop. In my opinion.
So if they drop the 2.5, you might as well take that.
You would take that.
Right.
But let's treat the 11.5 point as a 3.5 3-point prop.
Mm-hmm.
That's doable for him, but I just hate playing guys when you have black hole usage monsters in KD and Kyrie.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, that's why I like Bruce Brown's PRA, because he will fill the stat line,
100%.
and then Dragić, he will pass it and get a few boards. So maybe I'm leaning more towards him than Seth, but I get it with Seth's 3-point shooting.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with the Bruce Brown position. I think historically it's easy to write off Bruce Brown just because he has had stretches of just being so insignificant from a fantasy standpoint. But the numbers in front of me, although small sample size, he's getting it done, fantasy point per minute wise, and then of course PRA wise, and the steals have certainly been there. And I guess that throws the debate here. Although he has been smashing this PRA line, he does represent steals and blocks, right? Probably 2.5 implied stocks per game as of late.
And Harden will turn it over, right?
Yeah. So instead of like PRA versus fantasy point is kind of the debate I'm going here.
That's a good call. I'm with you on that.
I mean, what are you? I don't know what I'm on. What are you're saying? You'd rather take the fantasy points other than versus?
I mean, that's almost a 9 differential.
So
that's from this PRA.
Yeah. So if let's just say we implying for 2.5 stocks, right? 2.5 times 3. So we're halfway there. So it's not covering the gap completely, but the 26 would essentially be hoping for 3 stocks.
Yeah. well, no, I mean you get 1.2.
Right, yeah, it's not 1-to-1, but you know what I mean. It's just simplified.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was that large of a gap between the two.
All right. Let me double check the prop projections. For me, it's coming down to the Bruce Brown minute projection. And I think there is a range of outcomes. So 24.5 fantasy points versus 16.5 PRA. So the projection doesn't the projection is like right there with it on 27 minutes. And if I get that 27 minutes to 33, I think the projection would like him for the over.
Yeah.
So it just really comes down to that. He's probably shooting a little too efficient. What do you think? No, honestly, 60%. Like,
I agree, and he's notorious for this, right? Like he'll have these spike games, and then he'll just disappear the next game, right? Like regress back to his normal average. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But he is rebounding. I mean, he is filling the stats sheet.
My boy Hey Duranzo, shout out Hey Duranzo, says, how do you feel about Gorgeous Name 3-point prop? So that was actually one I was looking at earlier, just trying to draw a line between, Danny Green being out and who could benefit. And they had Niang at 1.5. If we pull up his recent stretch here, represents a couple minutes. I know Korkmaz can be involved as well, but most of his shots are going to be from behind the arc. And the Nets on this slate allow the most points per game via the 3-ball on this slate just specifically. So if he's going to have 6 to 8 looks, Niang, that is, and he has taken 7 or more in 3 straight, I think 1.5 is very doable. Would you sweat some of that with me? Gorgeous Niang, 1.5 threes over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it because Harden will find him and get him the ball and get when he's open. It's just the minute rotation scares me.
I think he'll be part of it, especially like I said, Brooklyn's not going to be supersized, and Thybulle's not immune to foul trouble. You know what I mean? So you already take out Danny Green from the mix, and if Thybulle picks up a foul here and there on KD, feels like Niang would be. Probably.
Oh, Danny. Okay, yeah. No, I'm in. I forgot Danny Green's out because Danny Green played the last game. Yeah. I like it. All
right, so Niang over 1.5 3. All right, let's go. We're making progress. Speaking of progress, chat. I'm getting roasted right now in this. So I'm gracious, right? It's called Baseball Pods. They reached out to me and they were like, hey. We're just trying to spread some love to several podcasts. And then, they got like 50 podcasts. They did different brackets. It was like, could we use yours? I was like, yeah, sure, man. I'll be glad to be in there. Bro, I came in as the 15th seed. I'm getting absolutely just barrel stuffed, but ironically by a pod called Rates and Barrels. So there's no chance for me to win this thing. 610 votes so far, Josh. I have 11% of the vote. I don't know. Maybe I need to rig this election. But maybe if you guys give me the 20%, maybe my pride will be salvaged a little bit. So if you want to show out for those daily Gundacker live streams, do that. But this is like a lot of season-long podcasts I've noticed. So I don't even know how I am involved in this, but if you guys want to vote for me, the link's in chat. Let's get those numbers up. All right, so second game on tonight's slate, 10 p.m. tip-off here. We talked about it earlier. It's going to be quite the gap between game 1 and game 2. It's going to be fun from a spectator standpoint. A lot of marquee names between these 4 teams. Nuggets are a team that's on night 2 of a back-to-back. Last night had several guys out. And Nikola Jokic did benefit from Barton and them out, but it's Nikola Jokic, so he's going to be gassing it up no matter what. But this is their 3rd game in 4 nights, I believe, so there is a little bit of pessimism if we're starting to make check boxes of Embiid versus Jokic. Maybe Jokic has the fresher legs, but both games have pretty tight spreads, pretty targetable totals, and it's just a 2-game slate, and not many people are going to outproject Nikola Jokic on any slate, much less a 2-game slate. So I think the annoying part of this game is going to be the statuses of Will Barton and guys like that. But that is that is basketball, right? We got to deal with the cards that were dealt. 229 total. Project starting five for the Warriors: Steph Curry, Moses Moody, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Kevin Looney up against Monte Morris, Will Barton, Jeff Green, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. 229 is our total 2-point spread in favor of Josh's visiting Golden State Warriors. I think Jokic being probably the highest raw projected scorer on this slate is going to mean more than usual, right? Raw points mean more on these smaller slates just to begin with. I got him about a 3-point projection higher than Embiid. Mentioned both guys are going to have about 50% implied ownership between them. So I expect, especially on FanDuel where it's just like flip a coin, I expect there to be high ownership on both. Josh, you mentioned that you love bigs against the Warriors. As of late, they've just been so undersized, undermanned in that front court and just bleeding rebounds. Did Jokic pop as something that you want to get a ton of exposure to tonight, not just for DFS, but from PrizePicks as well? Do they have any lines that we can feel great about?
I mean, I like all his props. I mean, for this matchup, I mean, I've said it in the past when he plays them, this is like the perfect spot for him, and especially if Will Barton is out, continue to soak up the the distribution role, and even more so than he normally does.
Yeah.
This is probably I want to say this season, and I might be wrong, but this might be the highest fantasy score prop I've seen on PrizePicks for NBA at 60. Most guys I see peak at 59. That's high, but I mean he's on a run right now, and you couldn't ask for a better matchup besides the Kings and the Warriors here.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, if Barton is out, I want to throw a blanket on everything with them. So I'd probably go fantasy, and then. If you don't want to sweat something so high on them... Oh, did they take it down? No, okay, they're still up there. If you don't want to sweat something so high and you want something a little less, you could always do his 9 assists if Barton's out. But also his free throws made. So the Warriors foul at a real high rate with Kuminga, Looney, and guys like that. So I think his last 3 games against the Warriors, he's averaged close to, I think, 10 free throw attempts.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just gotta if that trend continues, he's just gotta make 50% of his free throws, right? But let me double check on those stats. So he had most recent game he had 14 attempts, 9, 8. Yeah. So this season he's at 8, 9, and 14 attempts. And he's had 6, 6, and 8 free throws made. But it is Jokic, and all the other props are so enticing that I get it if you don't want to do that. But if you want, I was just trying to provide a smaller prop that involves less sweat for something so high. And then the other guy I really like, and I'm surprised I haven't juiced his points yet, but Monte Morris. I mean,
yeah.
With Barton out, he's been the first guy that Jokic looks to pass to, out on the wings and out on the perimeter. 13.5 points. I've been clicking on that, and it's been working out, and I'll probably go right back to it tonight. And I mean, you can get on his fantasy score too. His assist rate should go up with Barton if Barton is out.
Yeah. And we should drive a state like Highland, Barton, Jeff Green, Najee. They're all officially questionable.
Right.
Barton has missed 2 games in a row, so in that situation, I tend to believe they're closer out than in. But with this being a back-to-back on the schedule, you certainly feel like it's not impossible for them to have purposely been extra cautious yesterday. So all these guys are officially questionable, but if we run back the outs from last night, 100% with you. We talked about it on the stream yesterday. Monte Morris averages fantasy point per minute without Barton on the court, with Jokic on the court. So very much gels. And he only got to 30 minutes yesterday, but he's still cleared, right? And it's that gels with that 26 fantasy point prop. In terms of targeting the over. Yeah.
I mean, yesterday it was 25 with all those guys out, and it only went up by 1. Yeah, so maybe this is like a wait and see. If you were going to pair some of these guys from this game with the first game, maybe guys like Monty and Aaron Gordon, you would kind of want to hold out on them, and if you're going to build maybe a late card for just this game, you would get on them after that news dropped. Or if you just want to roll the dice and assume that Barnes is out, you can definitely get on Morris. Aaron Gordon, so he's a wild card for me. He just did not look good in that game last night that I watched. But all volume and potential will be there for him if those guys are out. But yeah, for me it's just Jokic and Monty for now. And then on the Warriors side, I can't believe they're 2-point favorites. They should be underdogs. I mean,
like I said, it is game 3 and 4 nights for the Nuggets, right? And they've been limping through these games. So like, I don't think it's that crazy. I know, like, there's no harder fan than the local fan, right? You have high hopes and demands for your team here, but I mean, third game in 4 nights, and I know that they're from Denver, but it's still a tough back-to-back to go from Sacramento to Denver with no break in between, especially if they're going to be short-handed again. For what it's worth, Sacramento, the worst defense in the league yesterday, they only won by 6. And I think
they were smoking them in the first half. They were the Nuggets were shooting above 60% from the field. And then they just went cold in the third quarter when they came out of the locker room.
Yeah. So. They ran out of gas a little bit. Gas prices rising out there. They just couldn't afford to keep up. I don't know. So, like, if we run back a similar scenario in terms of these Qs being Os, I mean, I don't think it's that crazy for the Warriors to be favorited as the fresher set of legs in this one. But tell me, what would you like with these Warriors? Remember, these teams technically played a couple games back, but that was the game where the Warriors sat all of the regulars, and this one putting some TV cameras in front of them. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Just generally speaking, we think about their price points versus the Jokic's, the Embiid's, the Hardens, guys like that. We're getting a little bit of discount here. And if this game plays to this 2-point spread, we're not losing that many implied points on the OU. Klay Thompson, 2.5 threes, question mark. Steph Curry, assists. Any of those lines sound like a vibe for you? Should be noted that along with Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, Gary Payton, and Otto Porter are all listed as out for this one.
Yeah, well, with that news, I'm liking Moody a lot. He should play close to 30 minutes. And I think his PRA is too low. It's 14.5. He's been really focusing on crashing the boards. Steve Kerr really wants them to focus on that because they need help rebounding badly, right? Like, Looney cannot sustain this, be the man that only rebounds. And so Wiggins is taking a priority too at rebounding. So you could get on his 4.5 rebounds. But yeah, Moody and Wiggins and Kuminga are all taking on this new duty of focusing on the glass, and Steve Kerr said that this has been a focus in the recent practices they've had, and it's coming through. I mean, you see the last game, I think they both got close to 10 rebounds in that game. Yeah, Moody had 8, Wiggins had 11. So with that said, I'm leaning towards Moody's PRA, or you could do
pause for the cause. And I'm sure he'll be back in a second and finish up that incredible statement that he was going on. But he did mention Moses Moody as somebody he likes. And I was looking at those ownership projections, and Moses Moody was right up there with Embiid and Jokic in terms of ownership because of his price point, $3,500 on DK and on FanDuel. His ownership wasn't quite as high, but because of just needing some value to fit in there and make things happen, expected Moses Moody to be a top 5 to probably top 3, top 4 owned player on this slate, at least on the DraftKings side of things. So something to keep an eye on if you guys are thinking Moses Moody is your ace in the hole. Well, not quite. A lot of people are thinking along the same lines, but it makes sense. No Gary Payton in the mix here, and we should get plenty of minutes, and then he'll be starting. I think from a DFS standpoint, just looking at these ownerships, if we're just trying to play leverage and how often does this pop and this don't, Steph Curry coming in at close to a 30% ownership is very intriguing to me, just from MME dart throw, 150 lineups. I think a lot of lineups are going to be built bottom up, right? Get Jokic and B. What can we do from there? Maybe get Harden, get KD. But there's merit in the contrarianness of Steph Curry. If Curry can come in and have his ceiling game, even if he matches, a Harden output or a KD output or something like that, and you just build a little bit backwards. Drummond's never going to be a comfortable click here, but Drummond does have a ceiling, at least individually, that's worth grabbing a hold of. Josh, you good?
Discord crashed.
Oh, was it Discord?
I guess they're still having problems. It gave me like the little spinning wheel and said page not found Discord.
Gotcha.
I don't know where did I leave off at? I was giving a breakdown on Moody.
Yeah, you were talking about Moody. That was about.
Did you hear about? I was like how Steve Kerr said in the practices he's having them focus on rebounding, Moody and Wiggins.
I did not, because I'm not a psycho like you are and reading practice reports from one team.
I listened to 95.7 the local radio here.
Okay, wow, we just all right. 95.7, the gain, cleaner than any other radio station. That's a laundry detergent joke. Welcome to fatherhood, you people. But, anyway.
Yeah. So he wants, because they need help rebounding. They're really struggling rebounding, and Looney can't do it by himself. So yeah, in practice they're really focusing on that, and it's paying off. Wiggins had over 10 rebounds last game. Moody had 8. They're really focusing on that in practice, like I said, and so 14.5 PRA. I get on that because he just needs to hit maybe 2 threes and then clean up on the glass and get 1 or 2 assists, and I could see him clearing that. Yeah. For Clay, it's stay away from me right now. He's
really
he's struggling.
I mean, I get it, and I've heard this throughout, and I was just why you. By the way, Khalil Mack traded to the Chargers, so you Cali Cats get another great player. I get it. A lot of people are down on Klay Thompson, poor shooting as of late. Maybe Steph Curry, the same thing. Shooter's gonna shoot, man. They're gonna go through slumps, and I guess for prize picks, there's no benefit to be there early. But for DFS, I was just talking about how Steph Curry is going to be the lowest owned stud with 50, 60 fantasy point potential. So De'Aaron Fox just dropped 1 million points last night, right?
That makes sense. Yeah, I get that, but Clay just scares me, and for props.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Prop wise, I get it. You want to be as safe as possible. Klay Thompson's coming off a 20 shot attempt game. It's looking like the minutes are not a thing anymore, right? 30 plus minutes now. Obviously, you're not expecting like a 40-minute game from him anytime soon. Maybe the altitude has something to do with him being closer to 30 minutes. But, I kind of like the thought of Klay Thompson. And if you're going to chuck 20 shot attempts and, half of them might be from behind the arc, I don't hate the thought of a 2.5 threes. And let's be honest, Josh. Let's just be honest. Let's say your first half props all get hooked or don't hit. You will be in that Discord putting together the tilt card, and you will be betting Klay Thompson over 2.5 threes. Chat is gonna happen.
Probably will.
If Embiid gets injected in 11 minutes, I guarantee you there's gonna be Klay Thompson over 2.5 threes added to some cards tonight.
I mean, for sure. I mean, he's gonna take 6 to 8 of them, right? So yeah. I mean, the potential's there. It's just he's just off. He's not the same. He's not the same Clay, and we didn't expect that coming back from those injuries. So, but I'm with you on the Steph call. I mean, point guards all season long have just destroyed the Nuggets, right? Mm-hmm. So
it's definitely it's their only red spot, so to speak, in the DVP chart.
Yeah. I mean, get on his fantasy score. What do you? I think you have him projected pretty good. Let's see.
Who? Steph or Clay? Steph? Yeah, Steph, I got him at 48 right now.
Yeah, it's 6 differential for that high of a score. Could get on that, and then his real points are. I mean, his 3-point prop is down 1, but it makes sense. It's on the road in Mile High. Because it's usually around 4.5. So Sit down to 3.5. Yeah, I'd probably say his fantasy score to throw a blanket on everything because he will probably dish it out tonight. And then yeah, for Wiggins, the only thing that's standing out to me, like I said, is rebounds, the 4.5. And Poole and Kuminga are just such wild cards. Like Poole is just such a streaky shooter. Your bet for prop betting it's a little risky for me because you're betting on him getting hot. DFS, I totally get it. Like he's a guy that can, once he gets hot, like he'll stay hot and just shoot really efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for prop, it's too risky for prop betting in my opinion. And then Kuminga, he's just always going to run the risk of getting in foul trouble and losing minutes because of dumb fouls. Steve Kerr will pull him very quickly because he uses that as a teaching lesson.
As long as he doesn't drop 20 real points again, while I tell people he's risky.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got Jokic there to soak up fouls, so I could easily see him getting in early foul trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, both him and Looney will probably, soak up fouls and very quickly and probably alternate switching in to help guard Jokic. Yeah, so DFS-wise, I mean, those guys, they do have potential. They've flashed their ceilings before, so I get it for that side of things.
Josh, how the heck did we run over an hour on a 2-game slate? This is crazy. Are we sure we shouldn't start tomorrow's stream in like 3 hours? Like, what?
I'm down.
Yeah, I know you are. God dang. Josh, like, I didn't even plan on doing a stream today. Just like we should do one. Really? 2 games? Okay.
Hey, but these are 2 fun games, right? You got the Nets. The Nets Philly game is like the playoff series that everyone wants to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Warriors Nuggets. That could be a playoff preview too. So.
Yeah. And yeah, Chad, if you don't want to get the headache, the hassle of sweating these games for just FanDuel and DraftKings, definitely get on PrizePicks. You know the drill. Sign up using code GUNDACKER. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. Make $100 into $200, 20 into 40, and isolate the sweat here. Just find 2 things you like. Bet the power, the 2-pick power, 3 extra money. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do, and it's a whole lot of fun. It's good little side piece to DFS, and a lot of the OGs are turning into full-time PrizePicks players and kind of leaving DFS in the dirt. And we're actually seeing that on YouTube as well. All these channels dedicating PrizePicks content are just blowing up, and I'm over here twiddling my fingers talking DK and FanDuel. But hey, it is what it is. What up, Josh? Boogie gonna draw some fouls as well. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of a foul magnetism going on in that front court for the Nuggets there. But anyway, I'm going to be in that RunDFS.com VIP Discord voice chat next couple hours. It's going to be laid back Cadillac Jack on a Saturday, feel like a Saturday. But like I said earlier, if you guys are looking for a first look for tomorrow's 10-game slate, look for me on the DFS Coach Talk channel. We're going to be doing that pod probably tonight, a little after the Warriors game ends. And then tomorrow, a marathon. We're going to do a 2 p.m. Eastern stream, mega stream like we did on Wednesday. 10 games tomorrow, and we're going to try to flip over every single one of them and come up with the sharpest plays. And then I'm going to be in the Discord for a little bit for the RunDFS.com crew. And then we got the Osmo Live before lock. It's going to be a really, really long day, but it should be very fun and hopefully very fruitful. Before we get out of here, a couple questions from you guys. Mr. Torrance says, what's up? So I have over on Harden assists. I like that. Brown, Drogic's PRA, and Yang 3. I need one more pretty please for the flex. First of all, I do like all of those.
Yep, those are good. Those are all key ones from our discussion.
Mm-hmm. Any suggestions there? Curry fantasy points.
I mean, I would get on Embiid or Jokic, right? I mean, it's the clear plays for these games. So
Jokic assists, or just Jokic anything? Jokic's just out here dropping literally 80 points.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna do everything tonight. He's gonna kill it. So
have we ever how often do you see 60 fantasy points as a line?
That's what I was saying. I think it's the highest I've seen this season on PrizePick card.
Assist feels like the softest line to get to, but I felt like that last night, and Jokic dropped almost 80 and still didn't get it. So
those 5 free throws, man, that's definitely live. But
5 free throws.
It's never fun sweating free throws, man.
Kuminga, Looney, a couple foul-centric guys in that front court.
He had 14 attempts last game, so.
Let's see. Center, DVP. Let's isolate this metric here, see if we can't feel great about that. We're definitely paying a freaking high price tag. Free throws attempted, most to least in terms of center, defense. Golden State allows the 5th most free throws per game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Kuminga and Looney, man, they just hack.
All right, I'm with it. All right, so, man, yeah, I hate sweating free throws, but five, I can see it.
No. And it's Jokic, like, he has so many good props.
Yeah. All right, that'll do for us. So, I mean, usually they ask for a couple picks, but that pretty much just, like, summarized them all. Harden assist, love it. Brown, PRA, I'm still, like, it comes down to minute projection, same with Dragic. Gorgeous Niang, the 3-point over 1.5, I like that. And then we'll probably rotate some of these in there. Certainly would recommend you guys not to go too hard in the paint tonight. 2-game slate. There's not a lot to enter on, right? Not a lot to go rage into chasing our losses, but enough to go out there and get some action. Tomorrow, 10 games, so don't blow it all tonight. There's going to be tons of stuff to attack tomorrow. And that's it. Josh, got any wise words to send them off?
Yeah, I mean, I saw someone in chat ask, why would Warriors not be favorite? Well, so real quick, the Warriors with Draymond Green have a win percentage of around 80%. Without Draymond Green, they are below 500. They are really struggling right now. So,
yeah. All right, chat, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Big day. Twitter.com/Gundacker. Go vote for me in that poll. I'm not going to win it, but it makes me feel better. I love you guys. Appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.